Hi, I've been helping a number of companies these days with my face-to-face market action planning sessions, and I wanted to share with you what we're doing. It's a little bit different than my traditional 9-step strategy process that I've had online for my coffee break learning. I've changed my 9 steps around a little bit, and I've added something called T.E.A.M to it. So I just want to give you a brief overview of what I mean. Very helpful, and I'm finding that it's really achieving business results with the companies I'm working with. So let me share with you what I mean. So first of all, why is it important that we follow these 9 steps to create your communications plan? And then why is it important to understand the T.E.A.M principles? It's because there's so much happening online. Every minute, every 60 seconds, there's so many posts, there's so many tweets, there's so many emails. If you don't stand out, and if you don't know exactly what your purpose is and how you're going to measure success, you're not going to be successful. So that's what this helps you do. So really what ends up happening is this is the trick for you to create engagement. And why is engagement so important? Engagement is very, very important. Everything you do in social media needs to be something that's engaging. If you simply create something that is a beautiful brochure and you put it in a newspaper, awesome. You wouldn't then take that same brochure and put it on television, would you? It doesn't quite work for a television commercial, a brochure, nor does it work for your social media posts because it's not engaging. You want something that is engaging. A lot of people I'm seeing recently are taking what they've done for a flyer or what they've done for a brochure, and they've got great talents at that, and they're being hired and leveraged for social media content. And it's not working. It's not getting engagement. And they're telling clients that social media doesn't work. Well, it does work. Oh my word. I have helped clients achieve their business goals through social media because we're using these T.E.A.M principles. But let me just share with you, if something to be engaging, if it's not engaging, it's not going to help you grow your followers. It's not going to help you grow your business. If something is not engaging, it's not going to help you gain trust. You need to gain trust online. And how do you do that? By people others know engaging with your brand's posts. Then you're getting more trust. If people actually see your eyeballs and they see humans live streaming, you gain more trust versus something that's a really polished flyer. That's not how you gain trust. I'm seeing it over and over again. And what you need to do with the engagement, one person shares it, all their friends see it. That's what we mean by engagement. Either clicking, liking, posting, commenting, anything that they're doing with your brand, that's what we mean by engagement. So everything that I talk about when we work with a client is in our 9 steps, as well as in the T.E.A.M principles, is all around how do you create content which is going to drive engagement. It's so important. And marketing, sales, and service. You don't want to forget that you can also be engaging during the service process, during the service lifetime of a client of your product. 81% of consumers' purchasing decisions are influenced by their friends' social media posts. 81%. That means all of the purchasing that has happened here with all of these little folks has happened because of social media influence. Just this fellow went and shopped without any influence. So you want to think about that. You want others to work with your, or to post about your, or to talk about your services or product, because 81% of consumers, their decision for purchasing is influenced by what their friends do online, not by what you post, not by what is advertised online, but by what their friends say about you. 81%. So you really want friends and family to be talking about their purchasing decision when it comes to your product. And you want giants, and so we'll talk all about that. So the traditional sales funnel, I'm not going to get into great detail on this traditional sales funnel. Basically, you would, put out a newspaper or a radio ad or a television or just a flyer and it caused awareness. They might think about actually purchasing your product. They might prefer your product. They actually purchase it and they become loyal, and then they tell people about it. They physically tell people about it. Well, that telling people about it online increases trust, increases awareness, and basically your sales funnel, now the strongest advocate in your sales funnel is your client. Those people who have purchased your product, love your product, they are your strongest influencer in getting new clients and new awareness out there. So that's what shifted. That's why it's so important to get that engagement, which causes a post to be clicked on or commented on so that their friends see that this human that they're friends with trusts you. So it's so important. So my 9-step marketing action plan, the step I take all of my clients through, the steps you can take yourself through are as follows. You want to understand what's your online purpose. And you should have 3 online purposes, maybe 4. You're not having a whole bunch, but a few online purposes. And everyone says, well, I want to sell product. Cool. But why will they differentiate you from someone else? Why would they choose you over someone else? It always comes back to what will make them trust you. I always say if you're a family-run company, talk about that. So maybe it's the knowledge you have. Maybe you've won awards and you're forgetting to tell people. Talk about that. Maybe it's your community involvement. So maybe the 4 things you want people to know, because millennials would rather work with a company that is involved in their community or is giving back to the planet than a company who isn't. So you want to talk about definitely the product superiority, maybe maybe how you purchased your product. You definitely want to talk, if you're a family run, about the family or the background of the founders. If you're not family run, pick something that's going to differentiate you. No one else has your founders. No one else has your staff. So leverage those humans in the company to differentiate. So that might be a second purpose. First purpose is the product superiority. Second purpose is your human superiority. And I'm not talking that you need to be a snob when I say superiority, but you want to leverage that. And then the third thing might end up being that you give back to the community, and maybe that's all. Maybe that's all you want to talk about are those 3 things. So then okay, those are my purpose. If I talk about those 3 things, that's going to drive business. That is going to drive business. Then you want to understand who's my target audience, how old they are. Therefore, that will drive which platforms you want to be on, and you want to secure your platforms appropriately. In the whole platform securing, I have a 3-month platform securing process that you want to go on, where the first month all you're doing is stalking and seeing what others are doing on that platform and how you can bring into it your personality. If you decided it's because of your staff, how can you bring your personality of your staff into those platforms? If you decided it's your product superiority, how can you bring your product superiority into those platforms? Who are the giants in those platforms? In those 3 months, you want to see who are the giants, who are those people that are influencing your target markets. Very key to know who they are before you start. So that's part of the researching of those platforms. It's very important to research those platforms right up front. That's what we do in our first strategy session when I meet with a company. Talk about purpose. Then once we get that going, then we talk about who the target audience is, which platforms are those target audiences on. Obviously under 35, you need to be on Instagram. Under 25, you need to be on Snapchat. Over 45 or so, you need to be on Facebook. And is your target market even on Twitter? You need to see if they are or not. There are certain communities in certain cities that are not on Twitter. There are certain communities in certain cities that are on Twitter. And so you just need to see if they are. Do a little bit of research, secure your platforms, make sure your branding is the same. All your logos need to be the same across all your platforms, and your voice needs to be the same. You need to drive your purpose. So then you create a monthly calendar. And this is where the gold is. And this is what I changed in my 9-step process. I used to have this as step number 9. You can't do that. We realized we needed to do that right up front. So anytime I'm working with someone, the very first session that we have, we do the light green boxes here. We do online purpose, target audience, secure the platforms, and we tweak the platforms they have hands on, and then research the platforms. We go online and we stalk. We see what others are doing on those platforms, and we get good ideas. And then what we do is we create the calendar. So, okay, those 3 things that we said, or 4 things that was your purpose, let's get out an old-fashioned calendar, and we create an old-fashioned calendar, and we write, okay, so twice a week we're going to talk about purpose number 1. Once a week we're going to talk about purpose number 2. Once a week we're going to talk about purpose number 3, and maybe twice a week we're going to talk about purpose number 4. That's it. And so now what we do is we look at the calendar every morning. We say, okay, what is my purpose today? What should I be posting about? Because what you'll find is if you don't have that calendar, you miss the fact that you wanted in 3 months' time. I always, when you do purpose, one of the first things I say to a client is, in 3 months' time, what do you want people to know about you? So if you don't put that into the calendar, they're not going to know that about you. And then what we do is we always use the 5-to-1 rule. Once you have 5 posts that are educational, informative, inspirational, that have to do with your purpose, then don't forget to ask for the sale. You can ask for the sale. You have earned the right to ask for the sale. So in your calendar, you want to indicate when is it, if I'm an online store, that I'm going to link them back to my store so that I can actually ask for the sale. If I'm a retail store, what am I going to put out there that we're having a sale right now? Come in and purchase this from us because we have a sale. If you did that on every post, it doesn't work. You have to earn the right to do that by first talking about your expertise, talking about how you've given back to the community this week, talk about your staff and showcasing your staff and their expertise. So that gives you the right. And when you have your monthly calendar, it needs to mirror obviously any traditional type of marketing that you're doing. So if you are someone that puts flyers in the newspaper, your online activity needs to match your traditional activity, and that goes into the monthly calendar. And then where will you get your visual materials from? So now that you know what you want to post, now we can look at, and this is what's been working really well in the sessions we've been doing. Now after you've done your calendar, you can say, okay, well, I know I'd like to post about this. Well, heck, we're at a trade show that week. I'm going to have a lot of opportunity to get pictures of myself. Clients that have worked with us for years are going to be there, or whatever it might be. Now that reminds you to take the visuals, to take the photos. There's a lot of my clients working hands-on with them. We actually will go to the trade show with them, or we'll go to their location and help them with their first few visuals, whether it's live streaming or whatever it might be. They do it with their own cell phones, they do it with their own cameras, so they can continue doing it after I'm gone. So the visuals are important. So for every purpose that's in that calendar, now you look at it and go, okay, what visuals can I actually take? Which visuals can I capture along the way? And then team posts. This is, every post needs to instill trust for T. E is engagement. A is an action. Maybe an action. Maybe ask them to comment. Maybe ask them to click somewhere. Maybe ask them to look at the video. An action, so you can measure it. And M is measure. So every post, if you can get every post to embrace the team principles, then you have a good post, and then you're able to, if I skip to 9, at the end of each month, I want you to measure the effectiveness. And what was so cool, I was so happy with one of the companies I've been working with recently. We actually introduced live streaming for the first time, and we went back and looked at their measures. The very next week, actually, we looked at their measures, and they'd already been online for a couple of years. And that one live stream we had done the week before had far more reaching and engagement than any post they had had to date. I was so happy to see that. And so measures are important because you want to look at your measures and see, okay, what have we done before that has not gotten any type of team engagement, so therefore no trust, no action. What does not work? Let's not do that again. And what does work? It could have something to do with the color that you've put in the post. It could have something to do with the time of day that you've posted. It could have something to do with the visual. So look at all of that every month. But back to 8, Everything you do needs to be mobile friendly. Everything needs to be mobile friendly. You need to be best friends with your cell. I don't know where my cell is right now. So, but you need to be best friends with your mobile phone. You need to understand if you're the person that's actually physically going to be doing the posts, and you are someone who is at events, or is somebody that can live stream, or someone that can live tweet, or someone that can actually take Instagrams in the instant. It's not called latergram for a reason, it's Instagram. So if you're someone that can do that, you need to understand, how do I add text to my Instagram photo? Because if you just put up the photo, for example, on Instagram, it's just the photo. Very rarely do people click on it unless the photo says, I'm a contest, click on me. You don't really say that, you just say contest alert or win me in the photo. You need to say something, text in the photo. So you need to know how to do that. Or you need to know how to create little GIFs and turn them into videos by certain photos. If you've taken 3 or 4 photos and you'd like them to turn into moving pictures, why is that? Videos work 10 times better than any still photo. Therefore, in the area of engagement. So in the area of engagement, you have a video that says something that actually captures attention. You're going to find that works a lot better. So these are things, this is the 9-step marketing action plan magic that you need to be able to embrace. Sit down with the leaders in your company and the marketing team leaders and a leader who understands the vision, where the company is going, and work through the 9 steps together. And then on a monthly basis, you ought to repeat steps 5 to 9 on a monthly basis. Once a year or once a quarter, or maybe twice a year, you want to do the green pieces again. You want to understand, is the purpose changed? Is my target market changed? Does that mean I need different platforms? Am I dropping a platform? Maybe that platform isn't effective for us, and you need to research your platforms again. And in that research, that's where you're going to decide where my giants are. Joining me.